Hello, friends, and it's another Tuesday, and here I am, and today I have a quick productivity tip for you that will help you get moving on the things that matter and limit or keep away the things that eat up your time. Are you ready? Are you game? So it's a very fancy tip. The tip is use the timer on your phone when you're doing work for certain things. Use your timer on your phone to actually constrain your time, to limit your time. The productivity principle behind this is that when we have constraints in time, in resources, we actually are more innovative. We come up with more solutions. We become more efficient. And part of that, when you constrain time, is that you amp up your focus. When we have unlimited amounts of time, and I know probably nobody feels they have unlimited amounts of time, but let's just say when your day kind of stretches open in front of you, that's when you actually lose focus and can get easily distracted. So even though your phone sometimes distracts you, you can actually employ it in helping you stay focused, helping you stay on task by using the timer on your phone. So how does this work, and for what does this work? I like using it for 3 different types of tasks. So first one is anything that I am procrastinating on or that you're procrastinating on, consider setting a short amount of time, 20 minutes. So this is called time boxing. Set a timer for 20 minutes, for 30 minutes, and let it be okay that whatever you do in that time related to that thing you're procrastinating on is okay. And you may not get it all done in those 30 minutes, so you can schedule different time boxes to work on it. But there's something that happens that we feel like, oh, I can handle 20 minutes, I can handle 30 minutes. It won't take away my life if I start working on this thing that I'm procrastinating on. So for things you're procrastinating on, time boxing, using a timer on your phone really works well. The other one is bigger strategic projects. When you have something big that you want to do, that can be a stumbling block to getting started because it feels so big, there's lack of definition about what you even have to do, that we just kind of put it off. We don't want to deal with that strategic project. And the other reason that we often don't want to deal with strategic projects is because there may be no urgency in the present moment for it. A lot of us use as a prioritizing or figure out what we're going to do during our day. We use urgency, we use pressure to decide what we're going to do today. And that's why these bigger strategic things that are longer term just never have the sense of urgency that they need until oftentimes it's too late. So for things that are big and strategic in nature, or just big that you want to accomplish, use this idea of time boxing. Use a timer on your phone and set it for 30 minutes. Your first session may just start figuring out what are all the possible things I might have to do on this. And again, let it be okay that you finish that time box session in the amount of time that you identified. And you see, when you shorten up these working time periods and don't let them just stretch on forever, it allows you to amp up your focus on whatever is at hand, whatever it is that you want to focus on. And then it's also, as I said, helpful for things that aren't urgent, but you do need to start moving on and you want to start moving on. The reason I wanted to come here today and talk about this is I've had this conversation with about 4 people in the past few days of things that they want to do that they're just not getting to. For a couple of the people, it had to do with organizing space. That feels so sort of, oh my good gracious, that feels like a lot. And for both of these people, they wanted to sort of redesign a space, and they had lots of old files and papers and journals and things to go through. that felt overwhelming, and so it never seemed that important. So for both of them, I'm recommending to them that they time box it, that they just do a little bit each day. And there may be a day that you get so into it and you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, the completion of the task, that then you might want to schedule more time. But to get yourself rolling on something that seems either not well defined or that there's no urgency for, no one else is asking for it, time box it, make it a limited amount of time. And then the last thing that I use a timer for on my phone is, and that I suggest that you try out, is for tasks that you can get lost in. So one of them, a really common one, is email. I suggest that people, particularly if you go down that rabbit hole and seem like hours go by and you finally emerge, to actually time box that. Use a timer and say, I'm only going to devote 20 minutes to staging my email right now, and put that timer on. And the reason it's important to use a timer and not just do it out of your head is because then you can just totally focus. You're not looking at the clock. Is my time up yet? So use that timer. And the other, along with that, things that you can get lost in, I use a timer all the time on big projects that I am actually devoting a significant amount of time on. So let's say I'm working on a design for a workshop. I might get so immersed in that I actually never come up for air. I don't eat. I'm like, keep going. And that's not that great. So if you have a tendency to get absorbed or immersed in whatever task you're doing, you might want to put on more of an alarm at a certain time, just so that you come to, check in, decide, oh yes, I'm going to keep going, or I need to pause now, go eat, do whatever. So that's more, it's a little less time boxing and more just using an alarm to check in and make sure, excuse me, that you want to proceed, continue to proceed, because we can get absorbed in things and never, and sort of neglect other things that we want to be doing as well. So that's my tip for you today, is to use a timer on your phone to time box, limit time in order to get more focus and to get moving on things instead of letting them just sort of keep being put off. So there are things that you're procrastinating on. There are things that are big and strategic that may lack some definition at first and so seem like they're gonna eat up your time, or that there's no urgency for. And then the last one is tasks that you can get lost in. So consider using that phone for a really productive purpose instead of distracting you, helping you get more focused. So that's it for today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and I will see you back here on Thursday.